Oh, son of a nut. This is Street Fighter 5. Dude, Street Fighter 5 Chun-Li sucks. No wonder I'm struggling so hard. I need to go get Street Fighter 6 Chun-Li. Be right back, everybody. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Coping with Cardboard video. My name is Thomas Lewis, also known as Raeloun, also known as the guy in the rubber duck shirt. Take your pick. It's all good. Today, we'll be doing a Challenger Deck upgrade on Chun-Li on the water symbol. So if you're an air gamer or an order gamer, that's okay, because most of this list is attuned anyway. So you probably can take a lot of ideas from this upgrade and put it into yours. So great news there. Now, that being said, Chun-Li is all about the kicks, right? So since we're all about the kicks, we're playing a lot of kicks. And so we're a bit more of a narrow design space, which means it's not as budget friendly, but also it's still incredibly cheap, guys. It's just not in our $30 parameter. Also, when we had our Pike video, just a quick FYI, it went from a budget build to Flash to a not budget build because of a bunch of guys went out and bought those cards like 2 days later. So that was kind of hilarious. Still not like incredibly expensive, but it was no longer a budget build in the Flash 2 days later. And great job. We love to see people looking and engaging with their content. So let's get into it. Chun-Li on water. Here we go. So now, in terms of zero diffs for foundations, I'm going to go ahead and start this now. The further we get into this newer standard, the less I want to play zero diffs. And I'll be honest with you, I wrestle with the idea about just not playing zero diffs in Chun-Li. It's not a great selection. You can do Surprising Skill or you can do Tough Skin. For the sake of high blocks, I went ahead and put in Tough Skin instead. If you wanted to take this list we provide you and just cut Tough Skin entirely and add another one diff that does something, I wouldn't blame you. But for the sake of build turns, and especially for newer players, I'm going to leave in 4 zero diffs. Now, the other key cards that really matter here, we know that Chun-Li can actually clear the card pool, but we have cards such as This Is My Chance, which just says that if it's the only attack on the card pool, it gets an additional 2 speed. If someone completely blocks it, they can clear it. So this just gives us an extra clear option in case it doesn't do damage. And if it does do damage, awesome. Then we can move on to our second attack. Chun-Li can clear it anyways, right? So very handy dandy card. The other one diff I want to talk about are Stables Work and I Can Taste Sounds. So both of these cards are to help with Chun-Li's ability, right? She gets to re-ready something. And in that case, I Can Taste Sounds, and once it does the re-ready, gets to discard a card and draw a card. And then for Stables Work, you just get to flat out draw a card. The reason why I have them split out as such is because I Can Taste Sounds is a 6 check. So we want to have a bit more on I Can Taste Sounds just to have better check value. If you want to run 4 Stables Work instead, that is totally fine. There's not anything really wrong with that. All right, apart from that, let's move on to some of our 2 diffs that are special. We have Tessious Crew. This card is amazing. Please get 4 of them. I cannot scream this from the mountaintops enough. Looting in this game, drawing cards in this game, is very strong. And Tessious Crew is saying discard 1 card, draw 1 card on once per turn. That means on your turn and your rival's turn to maybe find a block or find another attack, whatever it may be, is incredibly valuable. But on top of that, Chun-Li is a brawler. That's right. So that means she gets to use that bottom, response that nobody ever reads, which is flip. After your attack is completely blocked, ready a foundation that has not been ready this combat phase. Which means, again, let's go back to Stables Work and I Can Taste Sounds. They're ready to be ready to give you more advantage. So Tessious Crew can give a lot of advantage, especially if you discard 1, draw 1, then you get to respond. Then ready Stables Work, draw another one. It's just complete card advantage, right? And that way, if you ever get blocked, you can keep going. Of course, we have Moment of Normalcy, and in terms of when you actually reset speed or damage, that's fine. But I want to talk about our 3 diffs. 3 diffs people don't like to play a lot of, but again, I'm moving away from zeros. I want more things that are valuable. It makes the build turns a little bit slower, but it makes your turn 3 very powerful if you get them on the field, which is Peerless Footwork and Dance to the Phoenix. Dance to the Phoenix just helps with Chun-Li's freezing. She can really nullify someone's next turn if you just get a couple of freezes down. So if she gets to do the actual once per turn and gets 2 completely blocks, freeze 3, they're going to have a hard time doing what they want to do on the next turn. So I love Dance to the Phoenix. But Peerless Footwork is a 4 of. We need the damage. We need the damage. Absolutely. We don't have a lot of stats to give. So Peerless Footwork just says all of our kicks can get +1 damage on enhance. And then also there's a Brawler enhance, which just says that if there's a diff that is 4 or less from our opponent, we get to give it -1 speed. It's great value all the way down. I would definitely say our 3 diffs are very powerful. And then we have some re-ready action with Chun-Li, so all of it kind of merges really well together. All right, so let's get into the attacks. Now, attacks, we're going to start with the ones that we're leaving in from Chun-Li first before we move over to the attacks. Now, you'll notice we didn't leave a whole lot of stuff in from the foundations for Chun-Li, so I didn't really specify that very much. I think the only 2 we left in were Guardian Angel Chinatown and then Dance of the Phoenix. For attacks, we leave quite a few bit more in there because we don't have a bunch of attacks, and honestly, her attack kit is pretty cool. So the ones we're leaving in, Tensho Kicks. Tensho Kicks we're leaving in there as a 3 of. It is a 4 diff. It's a 4 high for 4, so it's very fairly statted. But if you're blocking with it, it gives all your opponents high attacks -2 speed, which is a really cool modality if you're playing against like a Falling Skies deck. But more so, that response below can be really nuts. So card pull, after your kick attack deals damage, including that one, your rival loses 1 health. So if they partial or they just don't block at all, it just gives them that extra damage. It can kill them. So just to be clear, if it is the extra damage after the damage is dealt, it can still kill them. So if you play 2 of these in a turn, they're taking 2 health per every time it connects. So the Tensho Kicks was a great card. I wanted to keep them all in. And so far in testing, it's done a great job. The other ones we're keeping in is 100 Lightning Kicks. It is a 5 diff. It is a 4 mid for 5 stun 1 attack that says when this card is cleared from your card pool during the combat phase, your rival loses a health and you can't kill them. You can't go below 1. We don't care about this ability because we're probably never ever going to use it because we want to use the response. And I'll talk about that in a second, which is your turn. Discard a card. After this card leaves your card pool, you can add it to your hand. Now, to clear it successfully from your card pool during the combat phase, that thing needs to go from your card pool to your discard. If you use the ability in the response saying that you're going to pick it up and put it into your hand, that is not clearing the card pool. Okay? So they are not going to take a damage if you decide to discard a card and put it back into your hand. That's just fine. We'll play another 4 mid for 5 stun 1. We don't care. Especially if you have Tensho Kicks, we're going to do the damage with the with the card pull effect anyways. We don't care. So yeah, 100 Lightning Kicks, still a very good card. It doesn't do maybe what you want it to do, but don't discount it. The next card we have is Aerial Kokosho. All right, Aerial Kokosho, it is a 4 high for 7. It hits like a truck. It is a 6 diff on face, but it does say drive 1, add this card to your card pool, and then we can maybe play it for -2 difficulty and +2 speed, which means we're playing it technically on a 4. Of course, it has to be a completely blocked attack. Yes, you can do it on your opponent's turn, but please do not do it unless you're killing them. If you're not killing them, they're going to take the damage, and then they're going to kill you. So please be careful with that. But remember, you can do this on your own turn. They completely block. Just throw this baby out as a 4 diff, and it's going to be a 6 high for 7. It's going to feel great. So yeah, those are the kicks that we're going to actually be keeping in. Now, the ones we're adding in for the upgrade, the first one is going to be Smashing Stomp. It is a 5 diff kick. Yes, we are going to a Godzilla Challenger deck, and I know we're adding another thing from a Challenger deck, which is like, oh wait, isn't that expensive? No, it's 10 cents. So please add 4 of these. It says EX3, so we have a bit of things to use for momentum. It is a 4 low for 6 damage, so it's incredibly well statted, and it even gives our next check to play an attack +1. So the good thing about Smashing Stomp is it gives us a little bit of leeway to playing, like if we want to play Smashing Stomp into, let's say, 100 Lightning Kicks, if we ever had that happen, or maybe we drew it, we want to play it, we don't have to play it as 6 diff anymore, right? Technically, we're playing it with a +1 to our check, so it makes it a little bit more feasible to play. Anyways, the response is what we really care about, which is after this attack deals damage, draw a card. We love drawing cards, and that makes this card just nuts. So easy, 4 of, get 4 of them, won't even cost you more than like 50 cents. The other card, Frog Strike. Frog Strike is one of my favorite cards, and I cut this card in non-kick decks a lot, but now that I'm playing a deck that once kicks, it was the first thing I added in, and it hasn't gone anywhere. This rotates out next year, so please use it while you can. Frog Strike says, Discard a card. You can get +3 damage. It says you can flip a foundation. You can seal one of your rival's foundations. It has stun 1 on it. And then on top of that, it has this thing called Deadlock Enhance, which we never see anymore, which is driving me crazy, which says ready 3 foundations. It's very strong. It is a 4 mid for 4, but it can be a 4 mid for 7 very easily. We have ways to give it speed. We have Peerless Footworks to give it more damage. This thing can hit like a truck. Falling Heel Strike. This one is very low statted, but it has a thing called Utility that we love, which says enhance unflip 1 foundation. This attack gets +2 speed. So it's still a 4 high for 4. You can stun 1, technically making it, a 5 high for 4 if you look at it that way. But the big thing we care about is unflipping, right? We can unflip our Tusk 2s if we ever use that Brawler response. We can unflip This Is My Chance. We can unflip cards we didn't even talk about, such as Push the Advantage, which says, if we clear a card from a card pool, we can flip it and draw a card. Well, we can unflip it, do it again, And so we have a lot of options with Falling Heel Strike. So this one's pretty easy to include. The other one that we have, and the last one, I believe, is going to be Therapeutic Exchange. We have quite a few low kicks, and I kind of love it because I like having mixed zones. This is our powerful 3 attack. We don't have a powerful 3 attack, so we need to make sure we have at least 2 of these. So we have something to do with our momentum. So we're going to pretty much leave this all to Smashing Stomp and Therapeutic Exchange. So 3 level for 5, and it actually has an additional response for it, which is just says after this attack is blocked, you can put the top of card of your rival's deck into the card pool. It's free. I mean, this one's so good. It's only a 2 of because Chun-Li, in terms of momentum gain, doesn't really happen too much. She does clear out one of her cards by default when you're trying to do more than 2 attacks. So you don't have to do it, to be clear, but you're probably going to. So we don't get as much momentum, but we're still going to have 1 or 2. So we want to give this a bit more damage. And we're not going to say no to a 3 low for 8, right? So perfect. The only other 2 things we have is our assets and actions. Drive Parry we'll talk about briefly, which just says it's a 0 diff and it has a 0 mid block, which is fantastic. And it says after your rival plays an enhanced ability on a foundation, we can cancel it. And there's a lot of foundations that do a lot of different things with enhanced abilities right now. And then, of course, just in general, after you play this card, ready 1 foundation. Again, we have those I Can Taste Sounds. We have those stables work. So this Drive Parry may not even just cancel an ability or serve as a really good block. It's probably going to draw us a card. So yeah, play the Drive Parry. Start with 2. That's where I'm at right now, and I'm liking it. And then the final one is the asset, which is Titanstone Knuckles. This card is nuts. This card is also not very expensive. This is probably the most expensive upgrade. It's like $2. But it does everything you want it to do. So the first one is commit a foundation. Your attack gets +2 damage and stun 1. I mean, giving Frog Strike another stun 1, giving Falling Heel Strike another stun 1. Heck, giving Kokosho 2 damage and stun 1 can be very, very powerful, especially when we're in a deck that wants to re-ready things and kind of refund it a little bit. It's very strong. So just keep that in mind on an attack string or a kill string. If you're built out quite enough, Titanstone Knuckles can carry a lot of damage. Now, for terms of responses, we have on the second one there, which is after the attack is blocked, we can destroy a rival asset and they flip a foundation. But the important thing is this deals with assets. And this says after this attack is blocked. So even when we're on playing defense and it's on their turn, if we choose to block something, we can just go ahead and commit this and go ahead and say, yeah, flip that foundation or flip that cape or whatever that may be. This is very, very good for asset control. And then finally, we have a Brawler Brute Enhance just for free, which just says you may use this card's deflect ability. So it has deflect 3 in a pinch if we ever needed to. We could do that. All right, that's really it though. All right, and that is our upgrade for Chun-Li. Now, so I know what the burning question is as I'm going through this video. They're like, did he make this video like much earlier and release it late? Because there's not a single Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle card, Thomas. Where are the turtles? Okay, turtles are actually intended to not be here. The reason why is because literally none of the cards work. They do function. I know people love fleeing from danger, which is the one that gets to stuff the card pool in a 2 diff. But it's just, again, it's just not what Chun-Li's doing, dude. I mean, if you want to give it a go, by all means, please do. Let us know how it goes in testing. But there's just better cards for her. And the same thing for attacks. We have some wild air-attuned attacks, right? I mean, wild. We have like Hang 10, you know, and then we have Mikey's kick, that, right? But the thing is, though, Mikey's kick requires that average of 5 speed. And so it's just like these weird details that just doesn't fit into Chun-Li's puzzle. So I just didn't add them. So if you think there were some turtle cards you wanted to try, great. Please, by all means, put it in the comments and let us know. I'm sure there's probably room for backups, but I didn't, when I was building it out, I didn't feel like that was what she was trying to do. A backup is not killing anybody. Ray Fillet is not killing anybody. It helps, but really we give enough speed on face already. So that's it, everybody. So please, again, like, share, subscribe to your friends, and always keep coping.